What is up, y'all? It's your boy Aniki coming at you with a video. I just real quick wanted to talk about the My Hero Academia movie trailer uh, that came out yesterday. I'm actually really excited for this third movie. I just want to say that right now from the jump. I think this one has the potential and should end up being the best movie of the ones we've gotten so far. Whether or not the ones coming after will surpass it, who knows? I'm not going to speak on that. But this one should turn out to be the best one, just based on a lore perspective. The trailer has a lot of really cool shots in it, but there's some small details that I already like that are being set up just looking in the details of these. For example, the villain being Fleckturn. The name itself is already a play on the fact that he is a preacher, which they usually stand at a lectern. That's why the trailer you see him standing there preaching with all the people around him. He's holding the Singularity Doomsday book, similar to like how he can hold a Bible or a Holy Scripture up. So I know for sure we're getting into some of the theological angles of My Hero Academia with this movie, and not even to just touch on that, but then also the fact that the glowing baby seems to be an extremely important part of it. And we know that the baby was the first person in the advent of the quirks to show these signs. And I've personally been a big believer of quirks potentially stemming from diseases or tamperings with the genomes of bacteria and humans. So I'm kind of really excited to see if we get any information on that first child, because I've always looked at quirks as a thing that, especially after we got that overhaul statement that quirks were disease. I don't know if you're an anime only. I'm sorry, they cut pages out of that adaptation that actually showed Overhaul discovering a book when he was a child that actually stated that directly that quirks stemmed from diseases and were transported by mice on their backs. So since there was that whole rumor, that led to me doing some research or whatever. And that's in another video that you can watch if you feel like, about quirks being a disease, but that is a spoiler and mostly for manga readers. So Fleckturn, though, having the blue skin, which is that bluish greenish glow, is usually what we get out of bioluminescent bacteria. So we have the first baby that was glowing. One of the big things is that humans are always transplanting those glowing protein, like what it takes to make those proteins glow, into other organisms. So I definitely think we're getting some intense origin stuff. I kind of have always thought that people took pilgrimages to see the baby and would have ended up like interacting with it, coming away with either like the same like virus or whatever that led to the baby having it, and then that would have been what led to it spreading around the world. It just makes sense from a religion. If there's a religious for people worshiping the baby, then more than likely there would have been people taking a pilgrimage to see the baby. And in addition to that, we know that plenty of scientists would have gone and interacted with this child in hopes of discovering what was the source of the baby's glow, etc., whether or not they thought it was an experiment or evolution or disease, sickness, whatever it may be. So already excited for that. We got the interactions with Rhodey. He looks to be standard plucky, reliable kid with a down on his luck attitude. I'm not necessarily expecting anything super spectacular out of him, but he does, he's gonna be interesting to see how he interacts with them, especially because he's gonna be making different tech. I think the shot from the trailer is probably at the end of the movie where you see him looking up and he looks kind of sad. That's probably just Deku and them all flying back home, being safe. Some of these movie heroes that we're seeing, we've had teased in the manga already, or we have wanted more of and didn't get enough of in the manga already, because we see Majestics there with Momo. We're gonna be getting some of the internships of the other students. We had been wondering about what was gonna happen in that time period, because we kind of learned that they were gonna be going on these internships in the manga, and then we just jumped ahead a couple months, so that's exciting. This seems to be taking place in the gap time period, which also is nice for fitting into what could be considered the canon of the manga, as long as the events don't get too particularly egregious. Considering everything that's happened in the war arc and some of the other things, it's reasonable that we're not just randomly talking about it in the story. So yeah, the trailer overall, once again, we're playing into the whole Izuku Midoriya is going to be on the run and wanted for mass murder. That's cool. Obviously, it won't stay that way. Deku's the hero. We know it's going to be a frame job, some kind of interaction. What I'm really looking forward to is seeing Black Whip on the movie screen, and the way that's going to play out, seeing that we're going to be getting Tokoyami and Hawk's interactions potentially, more stuff in that department. That's what I'm looking forward to in this film. So yeah, so as far as expectations go, I just kind of expect this to be a nice little lore dump, big action bonanza. The animation around Todoroki's looking nice. It's looking like Bakugo and Shoto and Deku are really going to be the more center point of this film, so we're going to be actually zeroing in on them. And while I do think we'll still be getting some extra scenes with the Momo, Uraraka, and those characters, I think that'll be more during like the big action montage, and we're kind of doing it around the horn thing. I don't think that we're going to be zeroing too heavily into the plot on those other characters. Like if we look at the origin trio as their plot is going to take up an hour of the film, then we'll say that the rest of those students are probably going to get about 27 minutes. That's kind of how I'm looking at that. So let me know how you guys feel about the trailer. I'm looking forward to the movie. This video isn't going to be that long. If you want to have more analytical discussions with me, though, on manga or chapters and theories, and talk about some of the already established cult tie-ins and lore that's been established in My Hero Academia, then go ahead and follow. Check out the My History Academia series. I'll see you guys when I see you. Hopefully you're around for the Church of MHA on Sunday if you're a manga reader.